All right, guys, what is up? I am here with Dr. Sam Ferradouni. You guys know him. My brother from another mother. We are actually flying en route on our way to Paso Robles. This fine morning is absolutely gorgeous outside.
Get it that I'm never going back. Get it that I'm never going back. Going up, going up, going up, going up, going up, going up. Get it that I'm never going up, going up, going up, going up, going up, going up.
But anyways, we're going to start today with a little Q&A. We figured, we're in the Green Hornet. We're going to be talking a little bit about GA matters. Kind of one of the big things that, one of the big questions that come up often is diabetes. You know, Dr. Ferradouni is specializes in diabetes care. He's also a senior AME, so he can kind of see both sides of the coin on that. But Sam, what can I, if I had diabetes, can I get a pilot license?
Yeah, definitely. If you have diabetes, you can get a pilot's license. The question is, how much work do you want to put into, and how seriously do you want your pilot's license? So, you know, the FAA is really focused on not stopping people from flying, but making sure that people are flying in a very safe and organized manner and can keep flying in a safe way. So they're not in the business of stopping people from flying unless it's just a danger to themselves or other people in the air. So diabetes definitely is doable. It requires oftentimes special issuance, but it's paperwork, it's checking, it's making sure really fundamentally that you're taking good care of yourself. And it's the same thing I tell patients when they're applying for life insurance or disability insurance, let's say, even aside from flying. These organizations don't care whether, you know, you have necessarily that you have a condition or that you're on a medicine, let's say one medicine or another. They really care deeply about, are you taking care of whatever the condition is, and are you to goal? Because oftentimes I explain to patients, it's sort of like the example of jumping one rooftop to another rooftop. If you miss by an inch, nobody pats you on the back and says, oh, you only missed by an inch, it's okay, right?
Yeah.
You still go splat.
Right.
So the goal is to get you to goal, and by that I mean alleviating you of risk. So are you not going to have a low blood sugar event while you're flying? Are you not going to have some sort of thing where you become confused while you're flying? Are you monitoring your glucose? Are you wearing a continuous glucose monitor? I'm wearing right now. And so, are you able to actively manage your condition and do it in a safe manner that allows you to enjoy flying, be able to do what you want to do, and be safe. Be safe out there for other pilots and people on the ground and yourself.
Yeah, good point. Again, you know, if you guys are in the Scottsdale area, Dr. Sam Ferradouni has an office there, Avion Health here in North Scottsdale. Obviously being an AME and also being in the field, he's an expert at that. So if you have any questions, get yourself an appointment, because everybody's situation is different, right? So
when you say here at Scottsdale, he means here at Scottsdale, but not up here and not a Q-tip.
Right.
So don't come find me at Q-tip. That's not where we're going to be.
That's right. That's right. Anyways, all right, so second question. There has been a lot of mention of, you know, mental health and, you know, those that are afraid to go seek help in the mental field, you know, being a stigma, especially on pilots, especially on, you know, them in their future if they want to become airline pilots, so it's a big deal. What is your recommendation? What is your opinion on it?
Yeah, I mean, this is something that's very, very serious, obviously, as serious, if not more serious than diabetes, let's say, but also something that's very near and dear to my heart. In terms of when I was in training, I was always taught there's no health without mental health. And what that means is really the idea that if you have some level of anxiety, if you have some level of depression, if you have a little bit of OCD type traits, if you have some other maybe what we would term maybe minor or moderate mental health kind of condition, how then are you to manage, or how much more difficult is it for you to be able to manage your other health conditions, your blood pressure, your diabetes, your cholesterol, those other things that we just said, how important they are that are managed well. So if there's no mental health, then there's no health, because you're unable to juggle all these things that are going on. So it's much like situational awareness in the plane, or being able to kind of task manage in the plane. You become saturated, and so you become saturated with your mental health condition as well, same idea. And so that becomes a very important thing. So there's no health without mental health. We take it seriously. We want to be able to manage that. And in many cases, again, in flying and in aviation, it is manageable. The FAA has a program. They have programs for all sorts of different conditions and checklists for managing all sorts of different conditions. And for mental health, they have what they term as a HIMSS program. And there are specific HIMSS AMEs that are designated for mental health. I happen not to be one of those, but there are other senior AMEs that are HIMSS qualified, and they are trained specific to mental health to be able to run those checklists, to be able to make sure they ascertain if you're safe to fly, and how we can help you to become safe to fly.
So it's not so much a barrier. It's, hey, we're here to help. We're here to basically give you all the tools you need to be safe to fly.
Absolutely.
And to assess.
Absolutely. It's actually very heartwarming. You know, before I became an AME, I used to think that, okay, well, the FAA, you know, they're this very regulatory kind of oriented body that's just very strict, and they just want to put up barriers for you to not to be able to do stuff. And it's absolutely not the case. Once you get more exposed to the FAA, you realize the FAA is an extremely friendly administration and organization, and extremely knowledgable in all manners of health and other aeronautical health and aerospace health, as well as the regulatory parts of flying. But they really are truly at heart motivated to enable as many people to enjoy flying, both commercially, from a professional perspective, and also in general aviation, but in a safe manner. And I think that is just really reassuring to know that. And I think the safety record in the U.S. reflects that as well.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Very good point. All right. Where are we, Sam?
We're almost to Q-tip.
I love that point.
40 miles to Q-tip.
Q-tip.
I love Q-tip because I just love saying it. It feels clean.
We've got the ForeFlight going on here. We've got obviously the Garmin avionics suite, and man, we're just chilling. We've got another 2 hours to go before we get to.
Yep. And also some cool stuff. We got our profile set in here in terms of our inset, and we can see that we have terrain avoidance and all that, and our descent's already programmed in, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
my favorite part about this is seeing what the weather is as we head to Paso Robles. We can check out what the weather is doing, and if we need an alternate, which we didn't today. So our destination, calm 9 miles, scattered 6,000. So a beautiful day down there in Paso Robles.
Yep.
All right. So let's say, you know, a young kid, 18, 17, 15, just starting out, and I want to get my license. Would you recommend the first thing to do is to go get a medical, regardless?
I actually don't.
Really?
Yeah, because I think
such a contrarian.
Yeah. No, because I think sometimes you feel like, well, I got my medical, I should be able to just skate through everything else. Because I think for a lot of people, the medical creates a lot of anxiety because it's an unknown, it's something unfamiliar to them. I think generally people don't necessarily like going to the doctor, or they feel like they're being graded somehow, or they're going to the principal's office. And I tell people it's not a report card. It's a guide to help you be safe and be healthy and care for you in the long term. So what I actually recommend is, first of all, just establishing a primary care doctor somewhere, going and getting your normal checkups, understanding what your general health is, and if that proves that has some issue in terms of, oh, you need cholesterol or you need blood pressure or whatever it is, you address those things. Then probably likely pick a school, figure out what your training program is going to be, on what timeline, and then follow that timeline. I think sometimes I get students that come to me, they haven't even selected a program yet. They don't know how long that's going to take, and they want to get a medical. And that's fine. They can get their medical. It's not a big deal. But then, all these things are on schedules, right? So they expire, they have time frames, and you don't want to get ahead of yourself. So I would say pick a program, enjoy the program, enroll in the program, understand what that's about, understand those timelines, and the programs often want you to get your medical right away as well, because they want to know if there's something that's going to hold you back.
Sure.
But I think it's something to be said about not getting ahead of yourself. I think understand your general health, to select a program, sign up, and then it's a good time to do your medical.
That is a good bit of advice. I like that. Understanding your overall health before going off on this journey. So if there's some underlying issues.
Well, it can be costly.
Right, it can be costly.
It can waste a lot of time.
Right.
Sometimes there are programs that can be modified to suit whatever your need is. There are some aviators that want to blaze through, and otherwise everything checks out and it's just a straight arrow. And other times, they need to have a program that's tailored to their needs. I was an example of that, if you remember.
Right. That's right.
So I needed a special issuance initially because of a medical, accident that happened. And now I'm no longer on my special issuance. Sometimes these things resolve themselves and you time out of those as well. Yeah. So you want to select a program that suits your...
Sorry, battery died, but we are back. All right, we're starting our descent for Paso Robles. Only 17 miles ahead. Moving pretty good. Starting our descent at 9,000.
40 miles ahead.
17 minutes, sorry.
Come on, Captain.
I
know. All right, start over. Take two.
Take two. No, it's all good. We're only 17 minutes out, 40 miles ahead. We'll be landing here soon. The last question I think we were talking about was kind of like, all right, what are some of the things that you see that you should caution people when they're coming in getting a medical?
I think one of the things that, is like a kind of a theoretical thing or hypothetical thing, but I feel like it should be said is, if you have something going on or you're concerned about some issue, don't try to hide it. It doesn't do anybody any good to try to hide it. And so a lot of times I feel like people think that, well, if I have a low touch of blood pressure, that I can't be cleared or something's going to go wrong. I think if you have something in your history, you've had a knee replacement or you did a scope of your knee because you had a football injury or whatever, disclose all that stuff. It doesn't hurt anybody, and there's usually ways around most of it, and it just requires appropriate documentation. So I think that's a big deal, and it takes us to say better for you.
Better for you than getting caught.
Oh,
right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Better for anybody for getting caught, but it just helps people fly safer, and it's better for everybody. But I feel like on the commercial side, a lot of times, it's people's livelihood, it's people's profession. They want to be a little bit cautious about what they disclose. So don't be afraid about what you disclose, is I guess what I'm saying.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, so that's
cool.
a good one. And then don't drink coffee the day of your exam.
Oh,
that's important.
There you go.
Drink lots of water. You're going to have to leave a urine. Stand by. Looking for traffic, 51 Fox Mike.
Center climb, maintain flight level 220.
All right, traffic is gone. So yeah. So Sam, you were saying before your medical.
Before your medical.
No coffee.
No coffee.
Drink plenty of
water.
water.
Drink plenty of water. You're gonna have to leave a urine. Routinely, I see people caffeinated because they're stressed. They're trying to get their morning started or whatever, and then they land in the office. Their blood pressure's normally fine, but then in the office it's high. And guess what? Now you're gonna not be able to pass. So, or it's gonna be issues or whatever. Or we gotta wait around while your blood pressure goes down. So, take all your medications. Drink lots of water, and try to avoid salt and caffeine the night before or the day of. and see how that goes. That's the biggest thing I see a lot of.
Cool. All right, guys, we're going to leave you with that. Actually, what we're going to leave you with is a video of the landing. So hope you guys like it. Thanks, Sam, for your time on there. We'll probably have some more of these as we fly. You know, send your questions down below on the comments, and then the next time Sam and I fly, we'll answer your questions if you got anything for AME.
Awesome. All right. If you get a chance, come to Paso Robles and have some wine and stay the night.
There you go.
All right.
All right.
Take care.
Hope you guys enjoyed the landing. We'll see you next time.